Yeah, what's up, y'all? Coming to y'all to get y'all a little some facts real quick. But I'm gonna start this off, man, because people keep saying that Native Americans are native to America, but I'm gonna prove to you otherwise. Because you got brothers out here that'll fight you to the death and tell you that you're African. That Native Americans, these Mongoloids, are the Native Americans. Like it's just crazy. You get brothers like Professor Larry, who think he's a professor. He ain't no damn professor. You know what I mean? But yeah, he gonna say the vultures of culture are circling, and it's not about him. You know what I mean? I just want to make a point, because he always troll me talking about these Mongoloid good people that are Native Americans, and they're Siberians. They're from the Bering Strait. Like, I mean, I don't know what else to say. I mean, the proof is in the pudding. You go to Ancestry.com, they'll tell you. And here you go right here. This is from Ancestry.com. You know, what is Native American DNA? That's what I always say, and they tell you right here. Native American DNA, North and South America was settled by at least three waves of migrants from Asia, who occupied the Americas from Canada to the southern tips of Chile. North America was initially occupied by people who came from Siberia and coastal North Asia. Far fewer than 1,000 people crossed the Bering Land Bridge, and Native Americans appear to derive from this initial wave of migration. Evidence suggests they dispersed rapidly along the western coast of the Americas, perhaps by sea, within a period of only about 1,000 years. Oh, I'm sorry, I read that like a question. But yeah, not long after humans first appeared in today's Alaska and the western United States, they settled as far south as the tip of modern-day Chile. For help researching Native American ancestry, okay, yeah. But right here it says Native American ancestry and DNA. Anyone with a single Native American ancestor, no matter how far back, has Native American ancestry, but no one have Native American ancestry. Wait, what? Oh, I say, but not everyone have Native American ancestors. Has Native American DNA. Only half of a person's DNA is passed on to the child. So we already know that they say you lose the DNA. But my thing is, what is Native American DNA if they derive from, Siberia? Because if they admittedly admit that these people come from Siberia, then they're not indigenous to America. They're indigenous to North Asia. Like I told the brother Larry, and this is before I even found this article. I'm telling this brother, like, he telling me I'm crazy, this, and y'all niggas crazy, y'all Negroes tripping, this and that. But I'm telling him, like, man, I told him the same thing. I said, stop showing Siberian Mongoloid natives, that have not been in Americas before the indigenous Anasazi, meaning us Negroes. And I was like, wait until I finish my presentation, whatever, I'm getting at him. But, stop showing Mongolian Russians, northern Asians from the Bering Straits. Then seriously, if you want me to take you seriously, I would suggest you not play games on Facebook. But he want to play games on Facebook. Like, come on, bro, you playing games, bro. Like, you obviously an agent, man. I just don't understand this. Then he gonna show me some Native American ancestry. If y'all want to check that video out, that's cool. But I checked it out. It's crap, because there ain't no such thing as Native American DNA. And where are they getting this Native American DNA from? It has to be from the Anasazi. And the Anasazi is not a tribe, it's many tribes, put into one. Like, it's probably the Almac, the Aztec. It's probably all of those people, that these indigenous tribes that they're calling the Anasazi. Okay, now, these people from the Bering Strait mixed with those people, and that's how they got their dark tint. Come on, man. You know what I'm saying? They're ancient foreigners from the Bering Strait. You know what I'm saying? And then I hit them with the same thing I just showed you. Like, come on, man. He playing games on Facebook. What is he talking about? This brother's supposed to be a respected so-called scholar. He's an idiot. I mean, everybody knows he's an idiot. Like, come on, man. Like, I still got love for the brother. This is, when I call him an idiot, this just on the information. So you're an idiot on the information, bro. I don't know what you're doing. You're supposed to be some scholar, but you're not. You might as well go ahead with that, bro. But yeah, just, not to get off the subject. But basically, I don't understand what this brother's what is he trying to prove? What are he trying to pull? But yeah, don't forget, y'all, just thumbs up the video. You know what I'm saying? So we can get some, thumbs up. And make sure you thumbs up, like the videos, and subscribe. I'm telling y'all, this is light work. Like that was it right there, actually. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, I can get at him some more. But that was basically it, bro. Like, come on, what more can you? I don't understand. Like, what is this brother trying to prove? But anyway, let me get to some more proof. All right. Now, when you look at the Bering Strait, you know what I'm saying? Asia, North America, right? It was connected at one time. You know what I'm saying? It had to have been connected at one time. So, like, why wouldn't they recognize something like this? I mean, this had to have been an ice age or whatever. If it wasn't an ice age, it was connected. These people traveled right over here. It's like close. It's common sense. If you look at the Native American and you look at the Asians, they look exactly alike, these people from Siberia. And you look at the Alaskan Husky and you look at the Siberian Husky, they look just a goddamn like. Look like they traveled over with their dogs. All right? In Russia, United States. Come on, man. They traveled. They traveled over here. Y'all want to say we traveled, but y'all are closer to travel. Africans had to come a long way. Even though they came, but they had to come a longer way than you did. You know what I'm saying? So obviously, the people that you met here were already here. These brown people that look like Africans, Asians, Asian Africans, or just straight Africans. They look like us. It was us. We was already over here. My theory is this is Northwest Africa, and the West Africans and us over here are kind of identical people. You know what I'm saying? These people over here are indigenous, and I say this part is Northwest Africa, this part of the continent. So the West Africans and us are the same damn people. Come on, it's common sense. So the indigenous Americans, the Anasazi, are actually Africans, West African-looking people. I'm not gonna say we're Africans. I'm gonna say we're Negroids like Africans, because Africans are Negroids too. Those people on that side of the continent, they're Negroids, and we're Negroids. The planet was filled with Negroids, indigenous people. So, that's my dog drinking. Hope y'all don't, hope that don't get to you. But, I'm trying to make some points here, and I got another point. Like who were the Anasazi? In this little presentation I was trying to put together. And it basically show you, if you can look up all of these words, do the etymology on them, and it'll show you who all of these people are. But I can do that for you if you don't have the time to do it and you want me to do it, I'll do it. It's not a problem. So let me do that for you real quick. Let me get that together. So I think I'm gonna have to pull up another browser to get that. So give me 1 second. I'll catch the window, because this information needs to really come out. Like, people, we getting tired of it. I mean, it's real. I mean, what people gonna lie for and say we natives and we're not, or aborigines and indigenous people, and we're not. We are. It's just common sense. So give me a second. I had to do it over. Yeah, I don't understand these people. They really tripping. All right. So hopefully y'all can see my screen. All right, indigenous. I'm going off of my presentation. So y'all seen the presentation I just had up there. So give me a minute. I'm navigating through this. All right. Now I'm gonna show you one more time so we can stay on track. All right. Now when I was showing you the, let me see if I can get it. When I was showing you my presentation, the first thing is on there is indigenous, right? It was asking who were the Aboriginal Americans. You know what I'm saying? So look up indigenous. When you get that indigenous word, you're going to see, born or originated in a particular place in 1640 Latin. And a lot of y'all already know this stuff. And I don't have to read it. You can see it. So I'm just going to hit, all of the things that, we hit indigenous. It means us. And then let me go hit aboriginal. See what that means. Same thing, almost. First, earliest existing from the beginning, especially in a reference to inhabitants of lands colonized by Europeans, et cetera, et cetera. And all y'all know what that means. Now you got some people that say this is a compound word. It's two words, and ab has its own meaning, which means away from or denote. And that would be the case in far as if it was abnormal, but I've done my research. It's not the case with aboriginal. The aboriginal don't mean, in an etymology sense, being detached from the original man. It doesn't mean that, because you can't. This is a singular word. Okay, so, and it applies to us. So let's go to the definition of American in 1828 definition. Right? Let me back some of this stuff off so we can speed up a little bit. All right. So we all know what that means. All of the people who regularly watch this channel, you know what this means. It's you. American originally applied to the Aboriginals or copper-colored races found here by the Europeans, but now applied to the descendants of Europeans born in America. Right? Now, who that sound like? Grab a penny and put it next to you. Grab a bunch of pennies and you'll find one your complexion if you're a copper-colored or brown person. Right? Brownish, reddish person. Because most of the brown people have reddish tint in America. All right? Now, let's go to the next. Let's go to Moor. Because you got a lot of Aborigines that say, oh, we not Moors. I ain't no Moor. I never heard of no Moor. Right? But let me show you something in the etymology. Because if you respect the dictionary definition of American, you should respect the etymology definition of Moor. I mean, it would only make sense that it would be fair, if you would recognize this definition. So let me pull this up. All right. So let me go to the noun. Right? Now you read that. It's North African Berber, right? Which a lot of people will say, Moors are Berbers. But that was during the late 14th century from Old English French Moor. From medieval Latin Morus, from Latin Maurus, inhabitant of Mauritania, Northwest Africa, a region now corresponding to Algeria. But you notice it say a region now corresponding to northern Algeria and Morocco, right? But where was it before? Okay, now from Greek, Maurus, perhaps a native name or else cognate with Maurus black, but this adjective only appears in late Greek and may as well be from the people's name in the reverse, being a dark people in relations to Europeans. Their name in the Middle Ages was synonymous for Negro. Later, in the 16th century and 17th century, used indiscriminately of Muslims, Persians, Arabs, etc., but especially those in India. So, in the 14th century and before the 14th century, they was calling Negroes, which means black in Spanish, Moors. You get what I'm saying? So, because it was synonymous. And then later, in the 16th and 17th century, they used it for Muslims, Persians, etc., Berbers. All of that stuff came. Well, I ain't gonna say the North African Berbers because that's say late 14th century. But the first people they were calling Moors were the blacks, the Negroes. And this came from the Greeks. You know what I'm saying? And they say being a dark people in relation to European, their name in the Middle Ages was synonymous for Negro. Later, used indiscriminately of Muslims, Persians. So I gotta make that, you gotta make that known. because some people would say we're not Moors, but you know how we say indigenous peoples. Moors back in those days were considered indigenous peoples, like all throughout the world. All of these brown indigenous people, these indigenous people were called Moors, according to the etymology, because it says, you know, because most of the brown people were colonized by Europeans. And it says it right here, being the dark people in relation to Europeans, their names in the Middle Ages was was a synonym for Negro, right? Okay. So that should be a nail in the coffin. You know, we Moors, Aborigines, right? According to the etymology, and if you don't want to respect the etymology, then you shouldn't respect the copper-colored races found by Europeans, right? Okay. Now, since we got that straight, let's look up the word etymology. Let's do the etymology on etymology and see what we get. Okay. Etymology. It's a lot. I don't know if I'm going to read all of it, but I'm going to try. Late 14th century etymology. I think I said that right. Fact of the origin and development of a word. From Old French etymology. Etymology, 14th century modern French etymology. From Latin etymologia. From Greek etymologia. Analysis of a word to find its true origin. Properly study of the true sense of a word. With logia, study of a speaking of. See logi. Etymon, true sense, original meaning. Neuter of etymos. True, real, actual, related to etios, true, which perhaps is cognate with Sanskrit, satya, Gothic, sunges, Old English, sud, or so, true from a pi set be stable, Latinized by Cicero as veriliquium. In classical times, with reference to meaning later to history's classical etymologists, Christians, and pagans based their explanations on allegory and guesswork, lacking historical records as well as the scientific methods to analyze them, and the discipline fell into disrepute that lasted a millennium. Okay, I don't feel like reading all that, but you get the point. And if you want to read behind it, you can read it. And I'll leave I might leave a description of, I might leave a link to this PDF in the description. So I'll probably leave like a link to the download or something. I might do that. If I don't, it'll come out when because I'm going to finish the presentation and then I'll just bring it out. But yeah, let me just go away to the last word, which was etymon, right? My dog is snoring, so don't mind my dog. Okay, etymon. Primitive word, 1570s, from Greek etymon, neuter of etymos, true, real, actual. See etymology. Classical Greek used etymon as an adverb, truly, really related, etymic. Okay? All right, so now you know when you look up words through the etymology, you're looking up the origin of the word. You're not looking up what you think it means. You're looking up the origin. Right, so I had to get that to y'all. You know, Native Americans are not indigenous aborigines of America. Well, I would say they're ancient foreigners. They're foreigners that came here 11 to 12,000 years ago, accordingly, right? That's what they say. But I think it was, much earlier than that. I done heard 1800s, but I can't put that. I can't say that because I think they were here longer than that. Sorry about that, but I think they were here longer. I think they were here for about 10,000 years, 11,000 years, something like that. our people, our people probably been here for about thousands of years, like 50,000 years. But they say from Lucia, that she been here for 11.5 thousand years or 12,000 years, something like that. And then they went on an excavation and found extra remains and stuff like that of her, you know, extra remains from her. I mean, not extra from her, but they dug deeper, and they went and found extra remains, and they dug up to 50,000 years. And if they found that person, and they said that was the first American, and the person was melanated, and it was an Africoid or Negroid type of person, then who was the people before her? It had to have been the same people, because they dug 50,000 years, and they found, like, tools and stuff like that. I got the video, you know. And I'm gonna do this. So, like I was saying, we were here first. I'm gonna stroll through this video and let y'all see for yourself. Let me see if I can get it up. Give me 1 second. This thing's be going a little slow, but we gonna work it out, because that's what we do. All right, let me see. All right, let me get that. All right. So that's the one. Now, I hate that I had to go over this video again, but let me just get to this and get to some valuable points through this video, because I'm tired of people lying. Like, it's some dude that actually lied and said that they rediscovered Lucia to be Mongoloid, but that's a lie. I didn't find that information nowhere. You know, but let me see. Let me see if I can get this together.
In the heart of the Brazilian wilderness lies a prehistoric rock shelter. Thousands of strange paintings. South American archaeologists are finding unusual human remains. The skulls aren't European, but they aren't American Indian either. They belong to none of the prehistoric races known to have set foot in the New World. These skulls are as old as the Ice Age. So who were these first people to discover the Americas? And what became of them? Did they all disappear? Or did some of them survive? This is Serra da Capivara, a rocky outcrop of cliffs and valleys in a remote corner of northeast Brazil. Scientists today can tell precisely when they arrived and from where. All native peoples in South and North America belong to a racial type known as Mongoloid. They're descended from the ancient peoples of Siberia.
Siberia.
During the Ice Age, 12,000 years ago, there was a land bridge between Siberia and Alaska. Mongoloid.
Now, I need y'all to pay attention to this. You know, I'm tired of these debates. We are the indigenous peoples. Stop it. You see, I showed you on Ancestry, right? Where they come from. The white man is showing you, or I'll say the Caucasian is showing you where they come from, right?
peoples were the first to enter the New World.
But y'all don't want to trust nothing that the Caucasians say, you know what I'm saying? But y'all trust his science and everything else. But you don't want to trust this. You trust him when he say you come from Africa on slave ships, but you don't want to trust him when he say that they come from Siberia in the Bering Strait.
Or so experts thought. The Brazilian finds point to a very different story of the discovery of the Americas.
And I gotta pause this again, because, you know, they talk about the Brazilians are not us. You know, we are African Americans. Ain't the Brazilians? Y'all, that's two different people. But my point is they are Negroid, like the Africans and like the Indigenous Americans. They're Negroids. You know what I'm saying? And some of y'all Pan-Africans believe in the out of Africa theory. So if you believe in the out of Africa theory, then these Aborigines came from out of Africa, right? And then they found that the first person that was an Aborigine that came from Africa, according to Charles Darwin and the Darwinism theory, out of Africa. These Aborigines, Negroids, were the first Americans, right? Over there in Brazil, right? Okay, who were the Anasazi? Who were the Olmec? They want to say there was us, the Mongoloids. Okay, if there was the Mongoloid, right? How is that? How is that the Mongoloid when we got proof that Indigenous American that were copper colored were here? That's the first thing that they mentioned in the definition. And then Columbus even mentioned it in his books. I can't recall the name of the books, but you got brothers out there that's very versed on that, and he got the names of the books and what he saw, you know. And he was not in India. He was in the West Indies, seeing maroons. So I don't know, you people. Let me know what you think, because I think that these Native Americans, I don't know, they're not Native Americans. Well, they can be Native Americans because Native is a foreigner, a visitor. So yeah, they're visiting Americans. I ain't gonna say they invaded. Well, actually, they did, according to the European science in his research.
The paintings on these rock shelters are much older than the Indians. Here, hunters chase giant armadillos, an animal that flourished during the Ice Age, long before the arrival of the Indians.
I'm not gonna let that slide. The armadillo, people was chasing armadillos way before the arrival of the Indians. Now, who are these people that look brown that was chasing armadillos in America, right? Way before the Indians.
There's a playful feel to many of the scenes. Here, a group of men are standing on each other's shoulders, just like a circus act. And here, a rare romantic moment.
And if they were pale, they could have drew them in white clay or white chalk. They didn't have to draw that in reddish, brownish color. Like, they was trying to show you what they look like.
The scenes conjure up a lost world of innocence. How long ago was this primeval paradise? French archaeologists have just finished digging in Pedra Furada, the largest of the rock shelters. Their aim was to go back in time to a period well before the arrival of American Indians. Every foot they dug took them thousands of years back into prehistory. When they reached layers 40,000 years old, they found these. pieces of quartzite that look remarkably like stone tools. The edges on one side of the stones were flaked off. Were these stones shaped into cutting tools by human hands? If so, then the history of the discovery of the Americas would have to be rewritten. But if people had been here before the American Indians, surely there would be other traces of their presence. The archaeologists continued to dig, down to depths 50,000 years old.
All right, now they're digging in depths of 50,000 years old, right? And look what they find.
And then they found this. Fragments of animal bone and charcoal. For Anne-Marie Passy, one of the archaeologists involved in the dig, these fragments were proof of human occupation.
On trouvait des structures de feu.
We found
Archaeologists there have recently unearthed human remains. Prehistoric skulls were found buried in layers of soil 9 to 12,000 years old. They are the oldest skulls in the Americas. And this is the oldest of them all. The skull of a young woman nicknamed Luthia by scientists.
All right. Now, the previous skulls that they showed before Luthia, they said they was the oldest skulls in the world, and these skulls were Mongolian or Mongoloid, and they were said to be from 9 to 12,000 years old. Now, this skull from Luthia is oldest of them all, but this one was supposed to have been 11.5 thousand years old. Isn't it a contradiction right there? Because if this Luthia is 11.5 thousand years old and the other skulls were 9 to 12,000 years old, right? And they were said to be the oldest skulls in the Americas, right? But they found this one that was the oldest of them all, but they categorized the ones previously and said they was 9 to 12,000 years old. But this one is only 11.5 according to them, but this is the oldest. It's a lie. This is the one probably closer to the 50,000 period. I'm not going to say it was 50,000 years old, maybe even 20, maybe 13, 14. They don't want to say exactly more than 12 because that's what the Native Americans, they thrive on, the 12,000 years that they found we 12,000. No, this skull right here that belonged to the Brazilian Negroid was said to be 11.5, but was said to be older than all of the skulls they just showed before. So that's telling you something.
Can she tell us who the first Americans were? Walter Neves is a physical anthropologist at Sao Paulo University in Brazil. He has been using a standard and reliable archaeological measure, the shape of the skull, to find out what race she belonged to.
91.
He fully expected Luthia to be a Mongoloid, an ancestor of the American Indians.
91.
But then he fed the measurements into the computer.
When we start running the computer and seeing the results, it was amazing because we realized that the statistics, the quantitative analysis we were doing was not showing these people to be Mongoloid. In fact, the analysis was showing these people was anything except Mongoloid.
So, You know, these people, they were anything except Mongoloid. Anything except Mongoloid, right? So don't forget, thumbs up, y'all. Thumbs up and subscribe, because I'm gonna break this down for y'all. We are the indigenous people, Native Americans. Y'all are ancient visitors, ancient foreign visitors from the Bering Strait, from Asia, North Asia. That's where you come from. That's why most of you Native Americans, because there's no such thing as Native American blood. That's some bullshit. You come from where you come from. So how in the hell you got 28% this in Native American blood? Where are you getting the Native American blood from? Because where did you get your tint from? When you look at the people in Siberia, and they're lighter than the people that's here, because it's a tropical thing. And these people that were here were already tropical people. So these people were darker people, like, you know, the people in Jamaica. Places like that, it would be the same thing here. Why would it be any different? Why would it be any different? So those people came and they mixed, got darker. They were darker Asiatics because they mixed with the Anasazi, us. All right? And then, you know, we all Asiatics. So, you know, I'm just breaking it down, man. That's why a lot of us people over here, we look, you know, Asian. You got people in Africa that look Asian. It's all connected. Everything was connected. And we were here when everything was connected. I'm not talking about Pangea, Jurassic period, nothing like that. It was a period after those periods that stuff were closer, and we were all here. You know what I mean? We was all the same people. When stuff started spreading out, you know, past the equators and all that stuff, people start getting lighter. OCA1 albinism. So, yeah, but thumbs up, y'all. Thumbs up the video. And yeah, let me finish my low points. Let me finish building on this.
So who was Luthia? And where did she come from? To find out, the skull was taken to a hospital in Rio de Janeiro to begin the process of reconstructing her face. The first stage was to make a three-dimensional CAT scan of Luthia's skull in order to build a replica. University of Manchester in England, one of the world's leading forensic artists, to recreate her features.
And one other point I gotta make. If you look at the natives over there in North Asia, their lips and noses are a little thinner. But when you look at the Asians over here, the Mongoloids over here, the Native Americans so-called over here, their nose and stuff are wider and lips are wider, like the Africoid, Negroid people that was indigenous to here. Because this whole planet was Africa, goddamn. I ain't gonna say Africa, but you that continent, the people of the planet was basically the same colors that the people over in that continent. So that's what I'm trying to tell you.
That to me is a Negro face.
All right. That to me is a Negroid face, just like he said. Richard Neve, whatever the hell his name is, from University of Manchester, said that to him that looks like a Negroid face, right? Now, why would he go out of his way to make the ancient first American a Negroid? Because it was already known. This information has been known. We are not dumb. We see the pyramids. We see the people on the walls of the pyramids. They got brown skin or copper-colored skin. And then later, because I call all of those I'm going to say prehistoric. I'm going to say ancient indigenous Americans, they are the ancient Anasazi. The Olmec, all of that is the Anasazi. They the copper ones. They was the enemy of these damn Mongoloids. Because these Mongoloids traveled over here and they fought with our people. They had wars with our people when they came from that Bering Strait. They killed a lot of us off, for real, for real. You know what I'm saying? And a lot was just moved. And, you know, it was war. You know, like, that's what it is.
All the features you associate with a Negroid face. The proportions of the face, it doesn't say anything about it being Mongoloid.
All right. Nothing about that
rock
face is
art
Mongoloid.
specialist has devoted his life to finding and recording their earliest traditions.
I'm not going to let that slide. All right. It was nowhere a Mongoloid. Okay? Lucia is no way a Mongoloid. And Lucia was the oldest finding in the Americas. And she did not drift or blow over here and no shit like that. Okay? Or wander and got lost. Come on, y'all.
The area is surrounded by rock shelters. Many of them decorated with images painted tens of thousands of years ago.
Ho. I cannot let that slide. He said these paintings were painted tens of thousands of years ago. And these people are brownish looking people. Okay? Tens, T-E-N, tens of thousands of years ago. Okay? So if you like European information, they giving you some information because they finding it and they giving it to you now. I mean, you know, this is the sun cycle, baby. You gotta get it. You gotta put this truth out. This truth has to come out. This is the sun cycle, the cycle of the sun. The sun people is going to return. The shift is still taking place.
In one rock shelter, Graham Walsh has discovered a painting that is about to rewrite the history of seafaring.
Oh, God. Shit. God damn it. I'm sorry, y'all. I can't help it. I know y'all seen this shit a million times. If you didn't, you can go look at it. It's right there. First Americans were black, and you can, you know, exit my bullshit or my talking out of it, okay? And you can look at it. But he said these paintings were done tens of thousands of years ago, right? Okay. They got boats. Tens of thousands of years ago, right? Well, but the one question that I got is, why do they got these boats? Where are they coming from? Because I looked it up. The Anasazi came from different parts and they met up. You feel me? They didn't say where, but I'm thinking Africa. Some of them. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying all of them. It was indigenous people here, and then some people probably traveled from Africa with boats, and they all met up and hooked up. That's what happened, I think, way before the Native American got here. It was Africans here that from that continent that traveled across the water, which is the Yehuda, Hebrew, that traveled over, not the Hebrew so-called Israelites. I'm talking about Hebrew is an act. It means to cross over, Hebrew. So these people that traveled on the boat from that part of the continent traveled across the water, the Hebrew Yehuda. The people from the Bering Strait that traveled or walked or whatever they did to get over here, that's not the Hebrew Yehuda. Okay? We gotta learn this. This is real. And this, I'm not religious. I'm not an Israelite. It's just making sense. Hebrew means to cross over. These people had boats and they crossed over.
It's the oldest painting of a boat anywhere in the world.
Hold up. It's the oldest painting of a boat anywhere in the world. Do you know what that mean? That mean this shit is older than in Egypt and anywhere in Africa. But they found this in America. Wake up, y'all. Wake up, y'all. Wake up.
The people in the boat have got very distinctive headdresses on, and they're associated with a type of figures that we call simple northern figures that are found in this area of the North Kimberley here. They're associated with war scenes, battle scenes where they're not using spear throwers, and so we can date that type of figure by the type of technology that they're depicted with. And it's very ancient because the spear throwers, we've dated paintings with spear throwers on as predating 17,000 years. And that's a minimum figure. I think it will go back much, much older than that.
Right, so You see people in Africa with spears, right? Okay, now they said that this painting is the oldest painting in the world, right? Of people on boats with spears. Okay? Now, did some of these people go to Africa? Or did the people from Africa come here? And the reason why I think they went to Africa is because they didn't find any paintings on boats older than this. So that means boats originated over here. And then they brought the technology over there. I know it sounds crazy, but according to this finding in the Americas, the oldest boat image in the world, I'm talking about older than China, older than anywhere. I'm talking about older than Africa, anywhere, Egypt, anywhere. And that Egypt thing is another story because my opinion, not even my opinion, this is Egypt. You know, America, we have Egypt here. And Africa has Kemet, the second empire. Just look up Horace Butler. You know, a lot of people don't like, they say he's trying to plagiarize his information, but I mean, he got to make a living, make money. He got a book. He wrote a book. When the Rocks Cry Out, read that book. You know what I'm saying? Corn is indigenous to America. Corn did not happen in Africa until the 1500s, right? So that's another thing. If they was harvesting corn in the Bible, then that had to have been over here. Okay? All right, so let me finish.
50,000 years ago.
What's remarkable is that the
my
boat
bad.
seems to have been designed
50,000 years ago, he said.
The people in the boat we call simple northern figures that are found in this area of the North Kimberley here. They're associated with war scenes, battle scenes where they're not using spear throwers, and so we can date that type of figure by the type of technology that they're depicted with. And it's very ancient because the spear throwers, we've dated paintings with spear throwers on as predating 17,000 years. And that's a minimum figure. I think it will go back much, much older than that, up to 50,000 years ago.
What's remarkable is that the boat
Okay, this may be up to 50,000 years ago. And like I said, Lucia may be up to about 50,000 years ago, okay? A lot of people say 50,000 years, it wasn't no 50, they say 11.5. Okay, they got people that's on boats in Americas, the first image dating to maybe about 50,000 years ago or more. You know what I'm saying? Then you got Lucia, then they dug 50,000 years into the soil and they found bone particles of animals and charcoal, right? And then before that, they dug to that point, they found Lucia. So who were the people after Lucia in the ground eating those bones and burning that charcoal? These people on the boats. These brown people that was in the Americas first, right?
seems to have been designed with a very specific purpose in mind.
You can see by the type of watercraft with the high prow on it, it appears by watercraft experts, they tell me it's an ocean-going type craft with this high nose. There's no need for all the sort of high prows and that in still water. So you're looking at some sort of craft that's been used for the open sea.
In this remote rock shelter is the first indication that the ancestors of the Aborigines did indeed have the technology to sail, and perhaps even to navigate the oceans. But why would they have wanted to cross the Pacific? The vastness of the ocean was surely a deterrent. More and more, scientists are convinced that the very first ocean crossings may have happened by accident. It's not such a far-fetched idea.
Yeah.
All right.
Placement might have happened. Here may be an explanation for how the American Aborigines became extinct.
I didn't mean to do that.
Rock art,
All right, let me get back.
and then reintroduced one at a time.
Let me try to get back.
Rock art experts have been studying the Brazilian paintings for clues about how that replacement might have happened. Here may be an explanation for how the American Aborigines became extinct. This scene shows several men in midair. They look as if they're flying.
Hey, bro, they look like they flying, but they might be flying from getting hit up, bro. You know what I'm saying? They look like they flying, but they look like they going to war, and we lost.
At first, scientists assumed they reflected the playful lifestyle of the American Aborigines. But computers can shed new light. Images can be digitally removed and then reintroduced one at a time. The happy flying figures turn out to be just one figure, a warrior leaping through the air to spear an enemy.
Okay. Now we know how them Asians get down with that their fighting techniques. You know, they very athletic, they can jump. They kind of karate type. I ain't saying that's what they were doing, but they was jumping and flying and shooting arrows like ninja stars. You know what I'm saying? And this is a Mongoloid up here, and down here you see an Aborigine getting hit up in the head, headshot, right?
A interpretação original dessa cena era uma cena de harmonia.
At first, we thought this was a scene of harmony, with various figures flying through the air. Now we no longer see it as a scene of harmony, but as a scene of violence.
Suddenly, the meaning of the other enigmatic scenes becomes clear. This is another act of aggression. And this, perhaps, an execution.
All right. Now you see the Mongoloid over top of the copper colored, spearing them to death. And this is when they first came through the Bering Strait when the ice started melting 50,000 years ago. Well, 12,000 years ago. Sorry. So this is when they first came. And they met the people that was here that were brown like us. Okay? And yeah. So maybe this is why Mongoloids don't like Africoid or Negroids so much in America. Because they know we their ancestors. We the ones on the pyramids. We did have African blood or we got Negroid blood because we the same type of people. Not saying we from over there, we're from here. But we are the same, we was connected at one time. West Africa and North America is basically the same. It was connected. Northwest Africa is North America. I mean, let me show you what my little, let me see if I could kind of show you what I mean by that. I think I got that research. Let me see. Well, I'll show that another time. But y'all know if you could just look at a globe or anything like that, you'll see what I'm talking about. It was connected. I can pull that up. Since y'all, I said, pull it up. Let me see if I can pull that up real quick. And you look at these, you look at Africa, you look at North America, South America, it all fits together. Fits. That fits, y'all. That all fits together. But y'all would say, well, the dinosaurs was living around that time, nigga. Wasn't no humans around. Because that's what I get. I get a lot of that. Wasn't no humans around, bro. Was not no humans. But let me find something else real quick. Cause it was humans around. I ain't gonna say it was around with Pangea, but it was around. If I could just find my little, I had some maps, and the reason why I'm taking so long because my computer is moving slow because I got a lot going on, and this is not a high-end computer. I had my high-end computer motherboard had went up, so I'm actually getting that repaired. That's why I've been slowed down on this. I've been limited to just uploading different videos, but yeah, I'm gonna try to get back to what I like to do my way. All right, let me see. Okay. got it open. Now let me see if I can get it open on here. Preview. All right. Give me a second. This goddamn computer's kind of slow. This damn thing is so slow. Alright. And forgive me, y'all, because I'm trying to get it together. You know, so it's the computer. It's moving kind of slow. Alright, now, what I was actually trying to tell you guys, it was different phases. It wasn't just Pangea. Everybody want to just say, oh, Pangea, Pangea. Wasn't no, I mean, it was Pangea. It could have been. I really don't believe that shit, but you know what I'm saying? Dinosaurs and shit. I mean, you know, I mean, they found bones, I guess. But Pangea, it was different. It was different. You had the Jurassic period right here. I forgot. I can't see that. I think that says I don't know what it say. I ain't gonna sit here and try to make up something. But yeah, it's different phases of these continents shifting. And then you got the present day. But as you get closer and closer, you'll see Africa and South America is connected like a puzzle piece. You know, and North America is connected with, you know, I think this is Asia and all of that. You know, so it was all connected. You know what I'm saying? Asia, America, South America and Africa, all of that was connected. So the time of about 12,000 years ago, per se, I'm not gonna say that was in Jurassic period because it wasn't. You know, it could have been around this period, right before the present day. I don't know what that say. I gotta get that right. But anyway, this period, they could have traveled here. You know, to Asia, Alaska, and they traveled the Bering Strait right up there. Come on, y'all, they walked right through. They walked right through. Brazil, I mean, come on, man, like the indigenous Aborigines, we were already over here, and we fought them. I just showed you in the video. We just fought them. You know, everything was connected, y'all. Look at this. United States, everything was connected. Africa is right. Everything is connected together. This is Africa and Pangea, right? Okay. All right, but everything's connected. Then this is like in the future. They think this is going to happen in another 100,000 years or 10,000 years or something. Everything is going to come back to the Pangea. And they're going to call it Amasia because America and Asia is going to be reconnected again. You know what I'm saying? Again. Right. So, I'm sorry for the little technical difficulties, but I had to get this out. Native Americans are not native to America. They're not. You know, they're ancient foreigners. Thumbs up the video, like and subscribe. But yeah, I'm not gonna hold you too much longer. There ain't nothing else I can say. This is considered the nail in the coffin. Look at this background right here. You see the background? That's the Bering Strait. That's where they come from. You know what I'm saying? They traveled from the Bering Strait to America. Look at it. Look at the background. Let's look at this. You know? They traveled from the Bering Strait. This is their route. This is where they came from. They came from showing you. They came from the Bering Strait and then they populated everywhere else. They came, you know, it took them about 1,000 years to do all of that. So, hey, wheat, corn, maize is indigenous to America. You know, when the Moors say, man, we bought strawberries, we bought lemons, we bought corn, we bought all kinds of things over to, you know, we did that, man. We helped modify this and we did, you know what I'm saying? You have to look into that, brother. They did that. We did that. We did that. So that ends my little presentation. Hope y'all like it. Thumbs up. I'm going to be back. You know what I'm saying? I know it's been a while. Like I told y'all, my computer is down. I'm actually using my backup computer. So if you see a lot of glitching, I apologize for that. You know, so. But I just had to get this information out. I'm waiting on my new computer, and I still got my old computer, but it needs a motherboard. So I just, you know, I was like, I can't keep waiting, man. I gotta get something back out, something original. So this is Now My News, you know, Larry Moel, and this is it, man. You know, Native Americans are not indigenous to America. I showed you all the proof, you trolls, all you troll Native American and Pan-Africans. I showed y'all the truth. I showed y'all you cannot refute this. This is facts. There's nothing that you could say. And go ahead and hit that dislike button, Mongoloid Native Americans. Go ahead and hit that dislike button. I know that's what you're going to do, you know, but you can troll all you want. If you sit there and look at every last bit of this video, you're going to know where you come from, because I just showed you where you come from and where we come from. We come from here. We the indigenous. We the autochthonous. That's what we are. So it don't get no plainer than that. Don't get no plainer than that. Don't get no plainer than that. So I'm out. Peace.